California is unique in the country in terms of the kind of liberal allowance of, for one to qualify for MediCal. Generally, in the country, you can qualify if you meet a certain income and asset standard. And the income, depending on the state, might be that you not have any more than $2,000 in countable assets. And that does not mean the total assets that you have, but they're talking about liquid assets or things that are able to be liquidated. You must also meet a certain income standard. And with the income, it's a bit different because no matter what your income is, that income is allocated to whatever your medical costs are. So if you have $10,000 a month medical bills, and let's say you have a retirement policy that's paying you $5,000, well, that $5,000 is largely going to be allocated to your share of the medical costs that you've incurred. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily disqualify you, but that money will have to be applied to that cost. In California, they are making some major changes where it used to be that we had that $2,000 standard of accountable assets that you could have. Last year, I believe it was, they changed the rule, and now you can have $130,000 of countable assets, which could be $130,000 in cash. And in addition to that, you can have an additional $65,000 for other people under the same roof. So it's pretty generous in what one can have and still qualify for Medicaid in California. Now, if you think that's a great thing, now they are considering eliminating the asset requirement altogether, which would mean that you could have maybe $1 million in the bank and still qualify for Medicaid. The only downside would be that your share of the cost would be offset by your income. So if you have a retirement policy and annuities and IRAs and so forth that provide you a monthly income, well, that would have to be allocated to your share of costs. So if your income exceeds those medical bills, well, certainly you're not going to be receiving any benefits.